What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28, and that's the one, the only, is Scott Savage. You can find him on Twitter at Savage. Scott, what's happening today, buddy?
Oh, we were all dropped a nice little entertainment bomb this morning. Let's get into it.
Dude, it was something else, wasn't it? It was, it was Elden Ring. We had 15 minutes. Actually, I think it was closer to like 20 minutes of Elden Ring gameplay. And yeah, we'll get into that. I think that's the biggest thing. But you can always join us live over at twitch.tv/theofficialITG, as well as YouTube at Inside the Game Official. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later, InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services and TV streaming networks around the world. Dude, what else dropped today was mine and Nate's review of Forza Horizon 5. You can catch that right now on our YouTube channel, as well as InsideTheGame.ca, and an upcoming episode of Inside the Game. Dude.
Oh, I'm going to be there to check out that review, actually. I want to see more about Forza. Oh, that looks solid.
It is set in Mexico. It is beautiful. It is like, man, playground. Beautiful. Man, it looks, yeah, it's fantastic. But today's show, Elden Ring. Dude, will it be Game of the Year for 2022? Take-Two cancels Hangar 13's next title after years of development and $53 million. I kid you not. And Square Enix president says Crystal Dynamics was the wrong developer for Marvel's Avengers game.
Oh, I've seen a lot of backlash to that. This is some interesting topics here.
That is a slap in the face to one of your own developers. That one just hurts a lot. But yeah, we'll get into it. First off, though, dude, this morning, 10 a.m., it dropped. Elden Ring gameplay. What are your thoughts? What did you think of it?
Oh, it certainly looks impressive. I know that's not a surprise to anybody, but
yeah,
it definitely had a lot of the hallmarks that I was expecting from it.
Sure.
And it kind of took a little bit of some freedom that I wasn't expecting there. There's a lot of Souls-like aesthetic to it. Even the movement, even the attacks and defense, that kind of thing. It's all very Souls-like. But, and I noticed this one very early on, any sort of stealthing is new to the whole situation. It's clear they learned something from Sekiro.
Yeah.
Because there's just a lot more verticality to the levels, it looks like. There's a little bit more of an option as to how you want to traverse the gamescape instead of just Dark Souls where it's, block, attack, and that's the entire game.
No, for sure. Dude, so you mount a horse. From there, your horse can almost glide from one ledge down to the next without dying. Like, how many times you jump off a ledge and you're finished. Here, it takes a half jump step midway through and then lands. And then to get up, dude, there's these little wind portals that they jump on. And then it just shoots sky high. And I was like, whoa, look at that. And yeah, you made note of it, Scott. Stealth. I am a huge stealth player. I am not a Demon Souls, Dark Souls player, but I definitely want to check this out. A big fight with a dragon there. You have co-op as well. I think that was another highlight. I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe if I don't have to suffer alone and I can have some backup, I might actually stand a chance in playing this game. I think that's the biggest thing for me, right? Dude, if I can call you in, I can call Nate in. Hey, I need a lot of help here. Let's play this game together because I'm not going to be able to do it solo. I think it's only one person, though, right? Yeah, I don't think you can call in a group.
I think you've got me wondering now, but I would expect just one. But in Dark Souls titles, it could be 2, 3 sometimes. So there may be ways to get more. But dude, that would definitely help you out because you can stealth through the majority of the game, possibly, but you're going to have to fight these giant monstrosities.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a stealth option for that.
No, and that's where I'm going to need the help. I'm going to need some backup going in against these boss fights, right? My timing may not be the best, I'd say. But at the same time, the creativity within the world, you have these glowing trees that look like waypoints in a sense that you want to go to and traverse over to, and then the verticality within the level, they've really stepped that up in this world as well. And it looks like the customization, because when they dropped in the co-op player, I was like, yo, that looks so different than the actual character we're currently watching. And then after that wrapped up, they went to another situation where the character is completely different again. I was like, oh man, this looks so cool.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of agency to the From games, so I expect there to be a lot of that. But the bosses even looked pretty interesting and reassuring to me.
One with all these hands.
Instead of just being Large Knight and then Large Knight with a larger sword, there's some variability. The giant horseman, and then that monster with many hands. Oh, that creeps me out. I'm not even certain why. When it reached up and it has 5 fingers.
I saw that too. I was looking at that one. How many fingers does that thing have? No, absolutely. It's dude, they fought a dragon, and then the co-op partner too then shot out a dragon like off of her back or something and breathed fire all over. I was like, man, I gotta play this. I have to play this. And then you can then set waypoints for like crafting material and then objectives and the other things. I was just like, wow. Now, Scott, my question is, do you think this is game of the year for 2022?
Oh, I think it would be a very easy mark
Right?
to be game of the year. Yeah, I think that's a very safe bet. Unless we see other things that get pushed maybe into 2022 or perhaps even pulled sooner than their 23 release, that might kind of cloud the waters here. But
Right.
otherwise, based on what we have so far, I think this is a strong contender.
Well, I think it's a huge contender. They will be up against Horizon Forbidden West. That is there for some of us. I know it's probably one of my most anticipated games of next year. It was this year, it got bumped. So that one is definitely on my radar. You got smaller games like Sifu's going to come in February. Dude, this is a problem. This is a huge problem because we're getting Horizon Forbidden West, we're getting Sifu, and we're getting Elden Ring all in February.
That's just February.
Yeah, just February. Oh, that dude, man, we're gonna be so busy, dude. Gamers are gonna be going crazy because they're not gonna know which way to turn. I think that's the biggest thing. What else is there? Saints Row, I think, is in February as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was saying to Nate actually last time we talked, this is a good time for video games. I don't know if I've seen well, it's not quite a renaissance of video games. That would be the wrong term, but there's just such a flourish happening.
It's just nonstop, right? There's always, we talk about it every day about how many games come out all week long. We cover it at the end of the show usually when we can. Sometimes there's like Mondays, they might be like nothing, or sometimes on the odd Friday there isn't anything. But most of the time, dude, there's like 4 or 5 games dropping a day, if not more. It's just nuts. And then to keep up with, and then you get into the AAA space and you got some of these big, massive swinging titles coming out. February, dude, I'm scared. Like, I am scared for the what stuff we're going to be doing. It's going to be fun.
Gonna be so hard. It's going to be so hard for me to pry away from Battlefield and Halo.
Well,
it's already becoming a crowded space.
Absolutely. What's not going to be so crowded, though, Scott, is the developers over at Mafia 3, because their game just got canceled. Hangar 13, new IP canceled after the costs of $53 million. Dude, this comes from Samuel Tolbert over at Windows Central. Developer Hangar 13's new IP, codenamed Volt, has been canceled per a report from Bloomberg. Hangar 13 is a studio under Take-Two Interactive that previously worked on Mafia 3 and Mafia Definitive Edition. When Take-Two Interactive shared its financial results in Q2 2022, the company noted that an unannounced game was canceled, incurring a $53 million cost. Yo, seriously?
Oof.
Man,
yeah, that's not a small amount of change. You're that far down the development, and then to cancel.
Like, you almost think that would be on the precipice of being announced or even released if you're $53 million deep. But the new IP was previously reported as being Cthulhu meets Saints Row.
What?
Bloomberg notes that it isn't currently clear if there will be any layoffs at the studio as a result of the cancellation. The game was reportedly in development since 2017. With issues arising due to project reboots and the pandemic. The next steps for the studio are reportedly being discussed today. Publisher Take-Two Interactive maintains a large slate of upcoming games, including the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition, which is set to launch on November 11th, as well as a new enhanced port of the GTA 5 as well, coming in March 2022. So it's not like they don't have anything coming, but what's not coming, unfortunately, is Hangar's next game. Hangar 13 lost this one. I wonder what they were like working on. If it was a cross between Saints Row and Cthulhu, what are your thoughts?
Oh, it's something unique, interesting in the space, but maybe that's why it got canceled.
Sure.
Because it was just kind of more of a risky idea. You know, it's not an Among Us clone. It's not a battle royale. So it just kind of gets pushed to the side, especially in favor of GTA and then GTA. So
Yeah.
I
Well,
think it was more of like a commercial decision.
the thing is, it's like we talked about this, I believe last week or just the other day, with Ubisoft announcing Skull and Bones delays, right? And the issues they've had because it's a new IP. Ideas change as that progression proceeds forward when developing the game. You run into other challenges, other ideas, maybe something would work better instead of doing this. But dude, $53 million, it isn't something you exactly want to cancel. Like, I wonder
Yeah.
what was the crushing point on that game and go, nope, you're done. But now what's that mean for the developers as well? What does that mean for Hangar 13 as a studio? You've been working since 2017 on this title, right? We're almost
Yeah,
into
that's
2022, almost 5 years later, and now your game is canceled. Ouch.
you have to hope at least there's some assets, some already pre-built
Something.
digital things they can use. You have to recycle as much as you can out of a project like that if there's anything to salvage. I'm assuming that there's, some sort of real quality here, but the possibility remains maybe there wasn't, and that's why it got canceled.
Well, maybe it's back to the drawing board, right? Start all over, start from scratch, come up with a new idea, or do they just? I'm worried that the Take-Two is just going to go, okay, you know what? You sunk $53 million into this. Hangar 13 is no longer.
No.
Like,
Yeah,
that's
would be
my fear.
unfortunate.
And hopefully that's not. Hopefully they're able to bounce back with a better idea, get something to work, or maybe they got another idea that spins off of what they have been developing for the past 5 years into something great. But we will see, because what wasn't great was Square Enix claims as Crystal Dynamics was the wrong company or the wrong developer to be working on Marvel's Avengers. Company's president says it needs to learn lessons from the much criticized game's performance. This comes from Tom Ivan over at VGC. The head of Square Enix has claimed that Crystal Dynamics was a bad fit for Marvel's Avengers, given its lack of experience with the games as a service model. Scott, I think that just basically sums up everything right there, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, the games of service, as far as I understand, seem to be the root of the issue with these games.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I don't know if it makes a lot of sense to blame Crystal Dynamics 100% because I don't know to what degree they had that decision. If it's
Sure.
something that's just kind of being shoehorned into development and they didn't really want to do that, well, then is it really the right thing to do to blame them? Is this just a case of two companies pointing the finger at each other?
Well, maybe, right? It says here, quote, we overcame a variety of unexpected difficulties in the final phase of the game's development, including needing to transition from work to home due to the pandemic. We were able to surmount these challenges and release the game, but it has ultimately not proven as successful as we would like. Nonetheless, taking the games as a service model highlighted issues that we were likely to face in future game developments. For future game development efforts, such as the need to select game design that meshes with the unique attributes and tastes of the studios and development teams. Dude, he's pointing at the team themselves. Now, Crystal Dynamics, notably known for Tomb Raider, right? That's their game. That's their bread and butter. That's the golden goose that kind of laid the egg for them, moved them forward. And then they got handed over into the world of Marvel. Dude, who wouldn't want to take that IP and make a game like this? But we stated how many times this has just fumbled the entire roadmap, right?
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. And things that are, Marvel branded, first of all, just have a certain amount of success that will come to that easily, as long as
Yeah.
you don't miss the mark entirely. And I don't think that is the case in this scenario. I don't think they missed the mark entirely.
Not entirely, no. At the base of the game, Scott, we have a solid foundation. Story was cool. The characters are charming. They're witty. The banter between them is excellent. I think the writing is there. The graphical fidelity is fantastic. You feel like you're Iron Man. Like, that is very, very hard to achieve, and it's done really, really well. I think Crystal Dynamics has created a solid game, but it's a games as a service model. That's the issue, dude. If they would have came out and said, you know what we're doing? We're doing Marvel's Avengers, our own story. Here's our campaign. Boom, done. That would have been it. We would have had an excellent game.
Mm-hmm.
But they went with the games as a service model. That's the issue, dude.
Well, I think it kind of reinforces what I was worried about when we talked about games of a service as a model moving forward. It's becoming popular, and that just made me nervous because, well, it's a change from what we're doing now.
Yeah.
There's going to be some stumbles along the way, and
Yep.
there's going to be a lot of feedback handed to these developers that maybe isn't constructive, but I hope we get past these kind of hiccups into what games as a service could be.
Yeah.
Strip away the loot box issues, strip away this kind of content,
the battle
spottiness,
pass, all that kind of stuff, right? That's where you
they're
get
going
into
to find
hiccups.
ways to monetize it, and that's okay. But
Absolutely,
we have to find somewhere in the middle between consumer expectation and commercial viability.
Yeah, I would think so as well. Quote, while the new challenge that we tackled with the title produced a disappointing outcome, we are certain that the games as a service approach will grow in importance as gaming becomes more service oriented. How we go about creating new experiences by incorporating this trend into our game design is a key question that we will need to answer going forward. Dude, they just need to find the right model that fits the game, right? That's the biggest thing. You need to, like, dude, this games as service now has been going on for years, right? We saw Bungie, we saw Anthem just fall flat on its face and try to rebuild that. The biggest thing is having the content at the end of the game. That's where everything changes, and it's just they're not able to keep the player base involved and have us coming back because we don't want to do the same daily challenges over and over and over again. Hit this guy, hit that bad guy, hit this bad person, go collect this. It just gets repetitive, and as a games as a service, it gets old quickly. How do you keep it fresh? That's what they need to figure out with this model.
Yeah, I feel like it's too often used as just an unfortunate mix of things. There's like a game they put forward, but it's more of like a playpen to kind of keep you busy until they come out with raids for the end game, and it just kind of feels like I'm being held in a less than satisfying status until raid or something comes along the end, and I don't like that having to wait. I would much rather a game, said it before, back in my day, they came out of the box completed. That was it.
Yeah, we just don't get that anymore, right? That's really the biggest thing. At the end of the day, very few games come out finished because you always get a day one patch, which is kind of a good thing as well, right? Because it gives the developers that last minute push to polish out bugs, polish the gameplay, do whatever they have to do before release, but they're still going for that crunch of trying to get it all done, and sometimes it just doesn't work. And what else isn't working though, Scott, is Marvel's Midnight Suns is delayed because that apparently isn't working yet either. The Marvel strategy game from XCOM studio Firaxis has been delayed. This was an announcement via Twitter. Hey everyone, on behalf of Firaxis Games, thank you for sharing just how excited you are for Marvel's Midnight Suns. We've been thrilled to see your reaction to everything from our announcement of the game to the reveal of our card-based tactical combat. Dude, I found that really strange. I gotta be honest.
Yeah, I'm not quite certain how that one's gonna work, but I am very curious.
Yeah, I was excited for the game, and then I saw the battle system. I was like, I don't know about this. Marvel's Midnight Suns is a true dream project for the team, and we can't express what an honor it is to create something new in the Marvel Universe. Gotta give them that. They're definitely creating something new. We decided to share that we've made the very tough decision to move our launch window to the second half of 2022. Dude, it's just, they were launching for spring. And so Jake Solomon, the creative director, went on Twitter to announce that they just delayed the game to another portion of 2022.
Well, I mean, you got to temper your expectations. It's good for them to get the information out.
Sure.
But it makes me wonder what kind of hurdles they came into that they need potentially 6 months.
Well, that's
time. Is that to dilate what they're doing in response to the way Marvel Avengers has been handled?
Well, yeah, well, maybe, right? That's not a bad point at all, Scott, when you think about it. We've seen the blundering steps forward with Marvel's Avengers. You don't want to risk following into that trap as well there with Midnight Suns. You've created your own story. You want to keep that mentality of we have something new, we have something fresh. We have this card-based system, which I think is going to take a lot to explain how that works. So they need to figure out this marketing strategy now as well as finish the game. So there's a lot of things behind the scenes, I think, that are in discussion of, okay, when we get ready for launch, we still need to do this, 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 and this. And we're not even anywhere near that. But yeah, they just announced this spring 2022. Now we're going for the latter half of it. We're going to be back somewhere in around the holiday season, I'm guessing, Scott. I'm curious to see. Firaxis has been around for a long time. They're a fantastic company. But this game, dude, when I saw another Marvel game, I went, oh, sweet. And then I saw what it was. And I went, oh, no.
Oh, maybe there's a little bit of that too, trying to gauge how they're going to switch a card battling system into a fandom like this.
Yeah.
That's going to take some work.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to take a lot of work. And I got faith in what they're doing, what they're creating, but we'll see all in due time, sometime in 2022. Scott, what game announcements and releases do we have for today, my friend?
Oh, we have a announcement from Redaleka Games, and this is an indie publisher. They are announcing a new retro shooter called Gainug. And this will be digitally released on November 12th, and that will be on the PlayStation 4, the Xbox Series consoles, and the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I'm starting to like retro shooters a lot more nowadays. It's funny.
Getting hooked, eh?
Yeah. It's just something new in this space. I think I've played first-person shooter for 20 years
so
now.
Long.
Yeah.
Gotta branch out.
We do have some full releases today as well, and that would be Just Dance 2022.
Steve, this one's for you, buddy.
Yeah, we have a follow-up review, potentially. Now, that's on Stadia, the Switch, Xbox One, XS, PlayStation 5. And we also have Binding of Isaac, Repentance, and that's on PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox Series X and S, and the Switch. And Where Cards Fall on the Switch and the PC.
Dude, that one looks interesting to me. Where Cards Fall, it caught my eye a while ago, and it kind of just slipped past the release date on me. I went, oh, no, crap, I missed it. I want to check it out. It looks very unique, very stylized, and I always like a good stylized game. But Scott, that's going to wrap up today's show. Everybody, thank you for hanging out with us. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. You can always join us live over on twitch.tv/theofficialITG or on YouTube at Inside the Game Official. You see it down there at the bottom. Join us. When you're on YouTube, of course, hit that sub button too. That goes a long way to help us out and support the channel. But if you can't join us live, that means you just join us later. InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services, and TV streaming networks around the globe. Until tomorrow, I'm Drew, that's Scott, and we'll see you inside the game.